Hi everyone, I'm Donna Stellhorn, your practical astrologer, and today we are talking about the full moon. It's on November 5th. It's at 13 degrees of Taurus, and these predictions are for Leo or Leo rising. So what we do is we start with the full moon chart, and because these are general predictions, I'm going to change the house system to a 0 Aries chart. Then I'm going to take the chart and I'm going to turn it so that Leo sits on the ascendant. This is going to give you predictions for Leo and Leo rising. And the first thing that we see is that this full moon is sitting at the top of your chart. It is your most elevated planet, therefore it's very important. And this highlights you. This means that as you are anywhere, you are more visible. And being a Leo, of course, you're pretty visible anyway. This just emphasizes that. So things that you post are seen by more people. Things that you say are listened to, and it doesn't necessarily mean that people are going to take the action that you're expecting them to take, but that they are listening. So you do want to be mindful of that when you're posting, and especially if you're reposting, that you know what sort of message that you're sending out. Now, this is very positive if you are looking for a job, if you are trying to expand your business, if you're looking for a love relationship, if you're looking for anything where being seen is necessary, this is really great. If you're trying to fly below the radar, this is really difficult. Now, one of the things that really stands out in this chart is this continual energy from Pluto right sitting across from your sign in the sign of Aquarius. It's going to be there for 20 years. And so this is your opportunity to meet powerful and important people. But the downside of this is it can feel like you are overlooked by people, that you are treated in a way that is not showing the respect that you deserve. Now, this is where this full moon can really come into play, because as you increase your reputation, you attract more of these powerful people who then want to make a connection with you outside this 2-week period. So this is a time, again, to be thinking about not just how to increase your reputation out in the world. That's everything from increasing your mailing list to finding more friends and being part of a larger group. But also this is to maybe look at who you want to be meeting in the future. Maybe do a vision board and have pictures of people rather than things that you want to obtain, and activate that Pluto that's directly across from your sign. Now, a couple of other points that are super important in this chart are the fact that Mars is at 0 degrees of Sagittarius, and it's making an exact opposition to Uranus in Gemini. Now, both Sagittarius and Gemini are harmonious signs with your own, which means you can really activate this energy. Mars is straddling that line between the 4th house and the 5th house, and that means you have access both to home and family energy, as well as children, creativity, and romance. And so there is really a lot of opportunities when you take action in this area. But because of the opposition to Uranus, the results you get will be very unpredictable. And this is something that generally Leo doesn't like. Leo is a fixed sign, and you generally want to, if you do A, you want them to do B. You don't want them to do, L or M. So the idea here is that this is a time of exploring and kind of, like placing a bet and seeing what happens, versus the energy of, if I pay for this ticket, I get the ticket. So think of it in terms of adventure rather than a sure thing. Now, because this is about family as well as about your kids, this could mean that someone in the family comes to you with some surprising news, that they're telling you about a new direction they want to take, or something that they want to do, or someone they're interested in. And this could be quite a surprise for you. This could also mean that you are telling them something that surprises them. So this streak could go both directions. The other thing that this is really good for is inspiration. If you do something creative, you could find that just delving into the creative project gives you so much more inspiration. You can sit and stare at that blank canvas forever, but the moment you touch it with the paintbrush, then suddenly you see the opportunities and the different things and directions you can go. So this is get started, and then the opportunities open up. Jupiter is still in the sign of Cancer, and it's going to be there, yet for months, and it's acting like a little guardian angel for you. So while you're doing all of this sort of disruptive, creative energy and attracting people who have power or have something that they are in charge of, Jupiter is offering you a little bit of protection, and it only requires you to listen, to hear that guardian angel, to feel that guiding hand on your shoulder. Sometimes you can, with that Leo energy, be so focused on getting to a goal that you miss some of the subtle signals. This Jupiter here is that subtle signal that will help guide you if you slow down a little bit and just listen. And a longer aspect is that both Saturn and Neptune are back in Pisces, and now they've dropped into your house of resources from others. And so this, between now and the end of the year, you could have something come back that is going to offer you some resources. Saturn's there, so it's not a huge amount, but it could be a lower interest rate for credit cards. It could be some sort of funds for a business venture, and in some investment advice. All of this will come with a ton of paperwork and some other Saturnian hoop that you have to jump through, but it may be something that you want to investigate anyway. Now, when it comes to love relationships, specifically new love, we are looking at the Sun, which is your sign, your planet ruler, and its relationship to Jupiter. And right now, there's not much going on between these two. So that is that you seem to be at home. Love is out there in the world. It may be knocking on the door, but it's knocking so softly you wouldn't even know to answer. So this is a time where it's hard to get a first date going. It's hard to meet somebody new. It's only for a 2-week period. It looks like you're kind of snug at home, not really wanting to go out and be social. Even if it's some sort of interesting celebration, it's just hard to get you out into the world. And yet it would be so beneficial because of that elevated full moon. And then when it comes to existing love relationships, we are looking again at the Sun and its relationship with Uranus, which it's not talking to, and Saturn, which it's not talking to. And so the two of you, while the relationship, if it's a solid relationship, it stays solid. If it's a little bit brittle, there's not much you can do to strengthen it at this time. So because the two of you aren't coming together for any shared purpose, for any shared experience, because there's no aspect going on. It's like you're in your own little worlds. And this, of course, is just for a 2-week period. So now you do have the Sun lighting up your area of home. And so if you focus on home and things like that, like what you can do together about, basic stuff, meals and laundry and, tidying up and stuff like that, that can help. But in general, big things that you want to work on outside this 2-week period. Now, when it comes to your money, you are pulling money from Mercury. And Mercury is quite busy in this chart. It is sitting next to that 0-degree Mars. It's sitting opposite the Uranus. It's making quite a few other aspects. And so this is a very busy time. This can be the results of things that you were doing in the past, but also your increased reputation because of the elevated full moon. So think about the different opportunities and ideas that are coming to you. Try to make a note of things you can't do right away. Focus on the things that are continuations of stuff you've been already working on, because this is full moon energy. This is a time to harvest the things that you've already planted rather than starting things that are brand new. And recognize that because of that opposition to Uranus, you're not always going to get the response that you're expecting. And so if somebody said, I'm really ready to buy, and then you go to them and say, okay, let's do this, and they say, no, I can't do it, that's probably not their final answer. Just move on to the next thing, and they will come around again when that Uranus needs to flip to the opposite side. With an astrology reading, you get more information about who you are, your talents and abilities. You get to see what obstacles are ahead, and you can get a game plan for how to get past those obstacles and find success. So if you're interested in having a reading, there's a link in the description. Now, when it comes to money from your career, so that would be a paycheck, that Mercury-Uranus dynamic is extremely strong. You also see that conjunction with the Mars as being a big factor, and that means that it's very hard to get a clear, straight answer about a raise at this time. The plus is that with that elevated full moon, you could be noticed by higher ups, you could be noticed by another company, you could be noticed by a headhunter, so that you want to make sure that your resume's out there, that you are seen for what you're doing. That's fantastic. But you may get very different answers with whoever you ask if you're trying to get a raise. The best thing to do would be to allow them to approach you during this 2-week period. Then you can give them the surprise answer of yes, or I want to negotiate, and or just wait until after this 2-week period. I just wanted to jump in really quick to say that my big class on predictions is coming up soon. It's on November 9th. We're going to be talking about the year of the fire horse as well as Western astrology predictions. And so if you are interested in what's ahead for 2026, then there is a link in the description with more information and to register.